Hello, I'm Cassandra Joan Butler, and I want to talk to you a little bit about Mercury retrograde. I believe that Mercury retrograde has a little bit of a bad rap. It's often conveyed in the astrological world, especially with people who haven't worked with Mercury retrograde for more than a few moments, as something negative, something we don't want to do. We don't want to sign a contract. We don't want to buy a vehicle. We don't want to take a trip. Oh my goodness, it's Mercury retrograde. However, Mercury retrograde is the ideal time to blend its meaning, which is logic, with that of intuition. So I want to present a little information for you, hopefully to give you a better idea of how to navigate the gifts of a Mercury retrograde. Because my goodness, there are certainly gifts with the Mercury retrograde. And so I am recording this during a Mercury retrograde. So let's see if we'll have some Mercury retrograde problems. We may, I mean, who knows? Mercury retrograde. Now, by the way, what is a retrograde? A retrograde is a time when any of the planets can appear from Earth's point of view to be going backwards. Now, planets don't really go backwards, but it's something of an illusion, but it's so predictable. So Mercury retrograde takes place about 3 times a year. In fact, it takes place about a third of the time in total, which means a third of all of you watching are going to have been born, would have been born with Mercury retrograde. And that actually is a gift, because Mercury retrograde operates, I believe, in a way of logic going circular and spiral instead of linear. So everyone I have known with a Mercury retrograde are often gifted with their ability to see outside the box, to think outside the box, and to have a differently logical type of mind. Well, in any case, Mercury as an archetype is logic. It's the messenger of the gods. It rules Gemini and Virgo. It's known as the trickster, the little fairy figure, the little jokester. It rules facts, data, figures, and it moves quickly. It's quicksilver. Where you find Mercury in your chart is how you communicate and how you think. So this retrograde, the first one in 2021, is from January 30th through February 20th. Now, these are the dates when you can really optimize the Mercury retrograde's gifts. And like I said, traditionally, you want to avoid making impulsive moves that are based on contractual agreements. So yes, of course, we'll honor the astrological traditional lore, which is not the time to sign on the dotted line necessarily. Now, this is the date of Mercury retrograde on January 30th. And I want to talk a little bit about Mercury's relationship to all of us since last May. You see, the nodes have been in the signs of Gemini and Sagittarius since May of 2020. What is Gemini? Gemini is facts, logic, the news, the media. And every 18 and a half years, the North Node is positioned in Gemini. Now, would you agree that this has been an amazingly difficult time of trying to discern what's real, what's not, regarding media, the news, and information? It's been a little bit mind-blowing at times and creating, I would call, a cognitive dissonance. Why? It shows up in the astrology, not just relative to this Mercury retrograde. You see, the planet Neptune, which represents psychic intuition and sometimes confusion, has been squaring the nodes. It's been squaring the nodes for a number of months. Here is Neptune on the chart. Here are the nodes. The nodes, again, set the tone for the collective's experience of life. And a square is a tense aspect. It's a 90-degree aspect. And it's asking us to integrate both avenues of data collection, logical fact finding with the intuition of— Neptune works in the world of symbols and dreams. and yes, psychic abilities. So our job in the past many months has been to blend intuition with logic. And now during the Mercury retrograde, we can upgrade that celestial imperative to a greater degree. On the 30th of January, when Mercury retrograded, it retrograded at the 26th degree of Aquarius. And I work with Sabian symbols. Sabian symbols are an amazing way to integrate intuition with logic on your birth chart and in transits. Well, in any case, the 26 degrees of Aquarius represents an ancient pottery bowl filled with violets. Like any sort of symbol, it is what you interpret it to be using your own intuition and your own run on things. Here are some words connected with 26 degrees of Aquarius. Filling up your cup, this is for all of us during the Mercury retrograde, with natural beauty. Cultivating modesty and humility. Connecting with the values of long ago. Violets are such a beautiful, beautiful flower, evocative of the crown chakra, of the third eye, violets. Well, that can connote delicacy of feelings, feeling like we want to repair ourselves after 2020's war of words and the rhetoric that's been raging with all of us concerning all the big topics that we've gone through and are still going through. In any case, this is why I love Mercury retrograde. Take that hint, take that Sabian symbol, fill your bowl up with a sense of delicacy, going back to old-fashioned values, perhaps even honor the degree by bringing violets into your home. I don't know, wearing purple. Interpret it as you may. Intuition is the time when Mercury retrogrades, because we get away from the logical linear thinking. We go within, we redo, we rethink. We might rethink about all the events we've gone through during the year of transformation 2020. We might rethink all the rhetoric that caused stress and pain in our lives. We might rethink and redo some aspects of our lives, which I'll get to in a minute, specific to your sign. Remember that Mercury retrogrades a third of the time, which is proportionate to the amount of time we sleep as human beings. Isn't that amazing? In the course of a lifetime, a third of the time, we're in dreamland. So now we're bringing dreamland into our awareness during the Mercury retrograde. So here's a suggestion for you, friends. During this time, if you are a sun sign, which I'm going to be listed here, or a rising sign, you may want to retrograde, redo, rethink, and meditate for Aries, 11th house things. I'm going to interpret that for you right now. So Aries, you want to meditate and reflect and redo and rethink issues regarding friendships, groups, associations, your hopes and dreams. For Taurus, redo, rethink what you want to do in the outer world, your career, your legacy, your reputation. Gemini, take a break and rethink on why you think the way you do, either politically, socially, religious-wise, spiritually. Rethink your rhetoric, Gemini. For Cancer, rethink what you want to do with your overall personal power. And sometimes that may include your investments, your debt, your finances, and issues of intimacy, Cancer. For Leo, you want to rethink and redo and reconsider who are your best peeps, who are your best friends, who are your significant others in your life. For Virgo, rethink and redo how you are taking care of you, your personal exercise, nutrition, all those things that you do to keep yourself alive, healthy, and well. That's for our Virgos. For Libra, rethink on what gives you joy, what gives you pleasure, what gives you fifth house romance and fun. For Scorpio, you will be redoing and rethinking the ways you want to take care of your home and family. For example, if you're starting a construction remodeling project, Scorpio, you might want to rethink that during the retrograde. For Sagittarius, you want to rethink how you're speaking to yourself. We all have this rhetoric that bounces inside our heads. Now, Sagittarius, turn down the volume, meditate, don't criticize you. For Capricorn, you're rethinking, redoing, and reconsidering how you're making your money and what your most profound personal values are. For Aquarius, wow, you're the star of the show during this retrograde. In your sign, you're rethinking your own identity, what you want to bring to the world, your charisma, and who you are. For Pisces, you're rethinking and redoing your sensibility regarding spirituality and retreat. In fact, Pisces, you might find yourself a little tired. So you might want to maybe even go on a little retreat in the next few weeks. So there you have it, friends. We have a Mercury retrograde. It's time to rethink it as being a negative. It's really a very much a positive time to embrace the symbolic, intuitive parts of ourselves. Thank you so much for watching. And please, I would appreciate it if you would subscribe to my channel and check out my website. Cassandra Joan Butler with you. Have a great Mercury retrograde.